Hey guys, LevelCap here, and today in gaming, Doom Eternal DLC got a surprise announcement, Genshin Impact got a major update, EA Play comes to Xbox Game Pass on PC, and much more. Doom Eternal's final DLC, Ancient Gods Part 2, launches tomorrow. id made the surprise announcement this morning. We were expecting a proper trailer with a launch date in a few weeks, but instead we got a release date trailer and basically an instant payoff. Ancient Gods Part 2 concludes Eternal's story with an Avengers Endgame style storyline. You'll go up against what looks like another Sentinel in a Hulkbuster suit. The DLC spans 4 levels and probably will have you taking on Satan himself if the leaked achievements and info are anything to go by. The trailer showcases a bunch of new enemy variants, but the standout addition is the new Sentinel Hammer. This is a melee weapon that stuns enemies, giving you ample opportunity to deal some big damage. Both of Eternal's DLCs are available in the game's Content Pass or as standalone purchases. They're both playable without owning the base game too. The latest update for Genshin Impact is a big one that players have been very excited about. It adds a new character, events, gear, quests, weapons, and a whole lot more. It's also available on all platforms, so mobile, PC, and console. In a nutshell, the update adds new branching storylines set in the higher level areas for 4 characters. It also adds a selection of social mini-games called the Windbloom Festival that gives out rewards and exclusive items. That's all on top of an extensive list of changes to the game's balance, bonuses, and bug fixes. Starting tomorrow, EA Play is coming to PC for Xbox Game Pass members. It includes over 60 EA titles including Halo, Jedi Fallen Order, Titanfall 2, FIFA, Dragon Age, and more. That's on top of all the games already included in the Xbox Game Pass, which numbers in the hundreds, and recently started offering Bethesda's games as well. It's tough to argue with the value of Microsoft's subscription service at this point. In other news, an insider update is available now that lets you manually suspend games to improve download speeds. Before this update, you'd have to completely close the game to get the same benefit. While that's not exactly a big problem for most games, it could be brutal for folks that play roguelikes or games with checkpoint saves. A popular software feature on Xbox is also coming to PC. Auto HDR is currently live for Windows Preview build users. It automatically tone maps standard dynamic range content to HDR, boosting dynamic range, color depth, and saturation. While the result isn't exactly native HDR rendering, it's still pretty close. If you own an HDR display, Auto HDR will help make your viewing experience more consistent between SDR and HDR content. Activision Blizzard laid off 2% of their employees out of the blue. In total, that's about 190 employees. 50 of them were working at the company's esports division. People affected by the layoffs are being given 90 days of severance pay, a year of health benefits, and a $200 Battle.net gift card. Despite the company apparently rolling in revenue and profit this year, they're restructuring their esports division because of the ongoing pandemic. Even after the pandemic ends, Activision will be less dependent on live events. In 2019, the company laid off almost 800 employees because they reduced the number of titles they had in production to focus on their tentpole franchises like Call of Duty, Overwatch, Hearthstone, and Candy Crush. To add a little bit of insult to injury, Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick is getting a $200 million cash bonus. He's getting that bonus thanks to a loophole in his contract that lets him collect performance-based equity payouts regardless of whether the company hits certain milestones. He got a $30 million bonus in 2019 thanks to the same loophole. Investors in the company are angry that Kotick keeps getting such exorbitant bonuses. They allege that Activision Blizzard's recent growth has less to do with Kotick's leadership and more to do with the pandemic, leading to massive spikes in revenue across the industry. Batman Arkham Origins players figured out how to resolve the game's multiplayer. It was taken offline officially by the developers in 2016. And while the player base was nothing massive, it still did have a loyal following of players. Modders discovered that editing the URL that the game uses to find servers will restore online functionality. They've packaged the change-up in a mod that also adds some skins, challenges, and a free roam mode. The one caveat is that the URL used by the mod is technically insecure, so just be mindful of who you're playing with. The reviews are in for AMD's new Radeon RX 6700 XT graphics card. The general consensus seems to be that at $479, it's tough to recommend over Nvidia's RTX 3060 Ti or 3070. Both of those cards slightly outperform AMD's GPU for a little less or a little bit more money respectively. If you're a fan of AMD's hardware, it seems like a solid GPU but doesn't compete very well against Nvidia. Of course, the real story is good luck getting your hands on any new hardware at all. Supply shortages continue to be the most significant limiting factor for potential buyers. Despite AMD and Nvidia claiming to be getting ahead of the problem, they still have no stock available for regular consumers. Dying Light is still coming out in 2021 if their latest development update is anything to go by. Techland put out a video with quick snippets of new gameplay. While most of the video was dedicated to a gag with the developers reading mean tweets, they promised more info is coming soon. The video ends with a graphic showing 2021. The game was technically delayed indefinitely, so the 2021 teaser could mean, well, anything. The little bit of gameplay that they did show actually does look quite good. I'd go so far as to say it looks better than footage we've seen before, but that doesn't really mean much without a release date. A new story trailer for the upcoming FPS roguelike Returnal might not offer too much as far as details are concerned, but it does give us a fresh look at gameplay. Returnal blends the hectic combat of indie games like Enter the Gungeon and Risk of Rain with the production value of a AAA title. You play as a space pilot stranded on a hostile planet. The roguelike elements, meaning you restart the game every time you die, are an integral part of the storyline. It's going to be a PlayStation 5 exclusive title and launches on the 30th. Sony are giving away 10 games to everyone with a PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5. Enter the Gungeon, Subnautica, The Witness, and other titles will be available starting on the 25th. Horizon Zero Dawn will be available on April 19th. All of the games will be free to download for a limited time. You'll have until either April 22nd or May 14th, depending on the game, to claim it. To sweeten the deal, you don't even need to have a PlayStation Plus subscription. Before we get to our final story, thanks for tuning in. If you're new around here and like what we do, consider subscribing to catch our next video. We cover gaming news daily, so subscribe and stay in the loop. In other PlayStation news, Vehicle Brawler Destruction AllStars is getting its first seasonal update on April 6th. It'll add the game's first new character, a Battle Pass, in a competitive mode. Season 2 and 3 aren't far behind either. Season 2 starts in September, and Season 3 will close out the year after that. Destruction AllStars is currently a PlayStation 5 exclusive title, but it's free for all PlayStation Plus subscribers. Reviews of the game are somewhat divided. Many point out its fun gameplay and casual nature is a big selling point, while other reviews complain about the lack of content. The seasonal update should add plenty of new stuff to explore. And that wraps it up for today in gaming. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.